What's up everyone, it's Gus. A while back I made a video on the top 5 maps that should return in Splatoon 3, and I at least got one of them right with Manta Maria being announced for Fresh Season. So I thought it would be cool to do the opposite and explain the top 5 worst maps that should never return for Splatoon 3. And hey, who knows, maybe one of these maps might come back, but let's hope that's not the case. But for this video, I'm gonna need a little bit of help. Joining us today is Bipedal Squid, a fellow Splatoon YouTuber who is really amazing at assessing map layouts.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Bipedal Squid, and I cover Splatoon content on my channel, most notably map redesigns.
And welcome Bipedal is really great and looking forward to working with you on this video. If you haven't checked out Bipedal's channel, be sure to check that out. They do quality content. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe to our channels and like this video for more content. Also, let us know in the comments which maps you do not want to see come back as well. With that out of the way, let's get started with the video. Kicking off this list is Arowana Mall, and oh, this map was bad. Aesthetically, this map was not horrible to look at. It was basically an outdoor mall. You had stores, you had plants, you had advertisement. As you can see, Arowana was basically pretty long. It was relatively narrow with multiple large central areas, and you had these hidden side passages that you can take. The main reason I did not like this map is because of how narrow and horizontal it was. It gave a huge advantage to long-range weapons, and if you were not playing anything with decent range, good luck. Most of the modes were bad on this map because of how horrible they were. The tower was strangely very long on this map. The pushes to clam blitz required you to bash your head against the wall unless you had bubbles on the left side. And Rainmaker with one wipeout with no checkpoints, it was basically GG's. Splat Zones was pretty much the only map used in competitive play, but that was mainly for Splat Zones only tournaments. But even then, it was horrible because guess what? You would hear this every single time. Arowana? More like I don't wanna.
Uh-oh, it's Walleye Warehouse. Yeah, this one has always been notoriously awful, and is often the go-to example of bad map design, even commonly being used in comparison to Splatoon 3's Hammerhead Bridge, which is not a good sign. Where do you even start with this one? Walleye was an extremely cramped and claustrophobic nightmare, and probably had one of the worst spawn areas in the entire series, being extremely tiny and therefore extremely hard to push out if attackers pressured you even a little bit. If you by some miracle were actually able to make it out of spawn, you actually did have 3 unique approach routes, which you would think was a good thing. The problem, however, is all of these are absolutely terrible. The main route is a one-way drop to this very vulnerable area in mid, where you can't reliably back up and have this single shipment container, which you can't climb up by the way, as cover, where you'll easily get cornered. The left route is a bit better as it brings you to this side area with multiple drops, though they're of course all one-ways, and it's not like this area is a very advantageous position to be in, really. Okay, so then the right route should be good, right? After all, it's not a one-way and it leads to the side. Sorry, idiot! Say your prayers if you're playing against a weapon that outranges you, because this flank is a single, thin hallway with absolutely no cover. Yeah, Walleye Warehouse was overall awful in every way. It didn't even have any unique gimmicks to make it stand out like the other bad Splatoon 1 stages had. And while I may be a bit nostalgic toward it, it doesn't really blind me from being honest about its flaws. Please never come back unless you're completely overhauled.
Next up we have Kelp Dome. It's basically a greenhouse themed stage including a variety of paths and ramps divided by uninkable glass containers in which various plants are growing. If you're asking what these plants are, I have no idea. I will leave that to your imagination. On this map, you had a couple of routes that you could take. For example, you could either take the right side and drop in the enemy area, which I guess is a decent flank, or you could fight in mid where there will be this huge block in the middle. You could play on top of the grates if you wanted to, but you were pretty vulnerable honestly. I know this map may have some die-hard lovers, but hear me out. This map was horrible. There's no other way to put it. On Splat Zones, it was pretty difficult sometimes to play around the big block. Sometimes capping it would be really difficult. The tower moves away from the spawn area, making it difficult for you to challenge and always needing to play this thing. You could cheese the Rainmaker into getting easy points. You literally could just pick it up, and if the enemy team does not have enough range, you could just walk to the left, swim ahead, and get a bunch of points. And one thing that a lot of people did not know is that you could actually throw clams from the middle of the stage. Yeah, it was really funny. This map just suffered from so many issues. Was it funny when you cheesed the Rainmaker and you threw clams from the middle of the map? Watching the opponents freak out of what's going on? Heck yeah. But was it funny when people did it to you? Heck no.
Oh boy, Goby Arena. Man, I remember hitting this stage when I was younger, and for good reason too. First, I actually want to say that I really like the theming of this place, being an indoor basketball course. Maybe it could be salvaged with some reasonable reworks, but as is? No. Imagine having paintable ground. This post was made by Goby Arena gang. Yeah, both routes to push the enemy spawn are these long, uninkable, cramped hallways where you're completely vulnerable and at the mercy of any of your opponents on the high ground. Rainmaker in particular was especially unbearable because of this. Mid was also super awkward since there's basically no cover or flanks to counter backlines who could just sit up on this high ground. What is this, Eeltail Splat Zones? If you wanted to reach them, you had to climb this hoop, jump to this perch, and then jump to where the backline was. I'm all for cool parkour in my Splatoon stages, but this is just way too much, and it's the only way to get there. Better have your missiles and Stingray ready. Matches here basically devolved into unbearable special spam contests, and it was just not fun. Definitely my least favorite Nitro Splatoon 2 stage, and I really hope I never have to play it unchanged in this state again.
For the last map, Bipedal and I went back and forth, but we ultimately landed on Shellendorf Institute being the 5th worst map that should never come back. Now, hear me out before contacting Sheldon on why I should not be allowed to use my free day 1 pass here. To be fair, this map is pretty unique. It's a map with a simple rectangular layout with a large glass roof over the stage's center, giving players high ground. They gave you options to use this as a flank rather than just going mid or on the sides. So that's cool, right? Well, it would be cool if the mode supported the unique layout it was going for. Tower control felt very cramped because of how the routes would go on the left side. Rainmaker always felt stally because the first team to get the Rainmaker across the stairs basically won the game. Clam Blitz was a bit fun because you could throw the clam from the top. And Splat Zones, this map just gave A-Leader way too much power. No, I can't go back. It just felt like this map had so much potential. If it only took more cues from Hammerhead Bridge, no, not that one, this one, the real Hammerhead Bridge, I felt like this one could have been better. Out of all the maps in Splatoon 2, this is one of the ones I feel had a lot of missing potential. But hey, if they bring it back and they make a few tweaks, that would be really cool to see. And we do have some honorable mentions. To much surprise, Moray Towers was not in our top 5, and we have a couple of reasons why.
Look, this map sucks for ranked modes, but man, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a soft spot for it. Like, it's genuinely such a fun and wacky time, at least in Turf War, that is. We really just need to, allow for Turf War exclusive stages actually designed around the mode like Moray. But even if it needed to be included in Anarchy, I feel it could be saved with some tweaks, such as adding a bunch of inkable walls to get up the towers, since it was just so linear, and opening up the lower area to have a bit more freedom and cover. Not to mention things like special design are a lot healthier in this game, and things like the Zipcaster could be very, very fun on it. It could work, I think.
You know what, Bipedal? You're right. Zipcaster on this map would be fun to see. I think it'll just be hilarious watching people fall off the map while using Zipcaster. Knowing Nintendo, there'll probably be some walls in Moray Towers that you can't grapple to, just like in Hagglefish Market. So imagine someone using their grapple, being unable to get to the wall, and them just falling down. I think that would just be really hilarious. But other than that, I really enjoyed playing Rainmaker on Moray Towers. It kind of felt like you were pushing a boulder up a hill. So, hey, what a nice workout in Splatoon. I would love to see Camp Triggerfish come back solely because of X-Slosher, which just happens to be a slosher, and I have no favoritism towards that class. It would just be amazing on this map, honestly. Explo was a great pick for zones on this map given your ability to arch shots to the enemy zone from a safe distance, and now that it has Inkstorm, it has better tools for contesting the zone from across.
Again, like with Moray, this map is just too unique, fun, and lovable to hate, and is genuinely one of the best designed maps for Turf War, seriously. But yeah, it's genuinely horrific in any ranked mode, especially tower control. Like, no, I'd rather not experience all 9 circles of hell at once in my silly little kids game, thank you. Like seriously, it goes over water the entire way, what the hell? You can't even jump off half the time, you're stuck there. Yeah, I think without massive changes, this one is actually unsavable in ranked, but would be absolutely perfect as a Turf War exclusive. I'll always love its unique layout, which encourages players to all rotate around the map to ink turf. And the gates dropping to open a new route for the last minute is icing on the cake. What a charming map, seriously. You see why it's so good in Turf War? It's perfect for it.
You know, Bipedal, funnily enough, after reviewing all these maps, and even though we've been saying they're terrible, I still feel like they had a sense of identity compared to the new Splatoon 3 maps. These maps had their own unique aesthetic alongside their own unique layouts, whereas today's maps feel more like a copy and paste Tetris piece layout with just a unique aesthetic. So I gotta give credit where credit's due to Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 despite this all.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I would take fun bad over just generic bad any day.
Well everyone, those were the top 5 maps we would not like to see return in Splatoon 3. What do you think about our picks? What maps do you dislike? Are we crazy about our picks? Let us know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and before you go, make sure to check out Bipedal's channel. They do a lot for the community. Let's get them to 3K subscribers. And wait, before you go, if it wasn't already clear, Nintendo, please don't bring this back. Please.